Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be making a little tutorial on my strategy, breaking it down in simple terms. I've gone over it more in depth in past videos, and I'm also going to be showing you guys how I back tested to build this strategy and just to get better overall. And as you can see, this strategy I've been using for a while now. This is my funded account. If you guys haven't been watching my recap, I have 5. I'm clearly very much in profit across all of them. Been trading this month, last month, and December, so it has been quite a while with these accounts. And as you can see, we have been green. Obviously, there's some red days, but very green. I've already taken a $10,000 payout, and I'm hopefully taking another one this week. I just need a few more winning days. But this strategy and this form of backtesting has led me to become profitable over the span of about 8 months. And it took a lot of time, took a lot of getting used to, and a lot of adapting. But once you get this down, it doesn't really matter what strategy you use. You just need to be able to keep backtesting, stick to your strategy, and basically apply it every single day. No changing it up, no taking random trades, keeping your emotions in check, and you'll become profitable as well. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of my strategy. You don't have to use my strategy. A lot of people are using it right now. It's just an IFVG reversal setup, but I do also take continuation trades. What I've found in trading is you don't want to get stuck on just one strategy. You want to be able to change it up, because your strategy is not always going to pay out. There's going to be some days where you're going to need to take a continuation trade, and we're just going to run 700 points in one direction, and you're not going to get a reversal, right? So you need to be able to adapt in trading. You can't always be focused on something mechanical, but it does help to have a mechanical strategy to fall back on, especially when you're learning, because it helps you figure out how price is moving and what you want to see for the day, right? So that being said, I'm going to break down my strategy just quickly. This is super simple terms. This is nothing crazy, but I will show you guys this from last Friday. It actually played out really good, so I'll show you guys this on TradingView. But the first thing you're gonna want to do, I do this every single day. I get up an hour before market open, or a little bit before, hour 15 minutes, and I'll mark out all unswept session highs or lows, which is basically highs or lows that haven't been taken out by price before market opens the next day. And you want to mark out your higher time frame highs and lows, so 4-hour highs and lows that don't happen to fall under session highs or lows, data highs and lows, 1 hour to 4 hour unfilled fair value gaps, which is very important because that is also as strong of a draw as session highs and lows. And you also want to mark out new week opening gaps. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, it is almost guaranteed we are going to fill it within the first 3 days of it happening, usually the next day or on the same day. So that is a very strong draw. You need to keep that in mind. And you want to check your news before the day starts, usually the night before, so you know what you're getting into, and you want to make sure you mark out the data highs and lows when the news happens. So let's get into that first of all. So I'm just going to pretend like this is last Friday. As you can see, I have marked out this 4-hour fair value gap. We're on the 4-hour chart, and I have all these session highs that are unswept from all the way on Tuesday. So these, I just leave these if they haven't been unswept. But the way you're going to find these is go to indicators here and use this indicator, ICT kill zones and pivots. Very crucial indicator. It'll only show on, I believe, 30 minutes or under. But let's just start with our fair value gaps here. You want to look at your 4-hour. See, we have one here that was unswept, and this is kind of 2 between here and here. Technically, this is your fair value gap, but since there's one above it, I marked it all as 1. And then we have one bullish one right here, right? Those are all unfilled. Price hasn't tapped into these at all. before any of the sessions, so those are very crucial draws. You can also get down to the 1 hour and see what you got. See, there isn't one here. This is one still, and then this one becomes a bunch. This becomes 3. So realistically, you just need to use the 4 hour, but the 1 hour you can also look at. Sometimes there'll be some you miss, like one right here. But yeah, you want to start with that, and then you want to come down to your 15-minute, and as you can see with this indicator, it'll show you your session highs and lows. So I'm in Vancouver. I'm Pacific Standard Time, West Coast, but your time zone, you're going to want to change it up here, right? So see how mine starts at 6:30. I'm under Los Angeles, which should be Vancouver. For all you East Coast people or Eastern Standard Time, you're going to be 3 hours ahead of what I'm doing. So make sure you guys are set to the correct time zone here. That is very important. If you're Eastern Standard Time, you'll start at 9:30, not 6:30. But it's the exact same thing. It's just time zones. And you're going to want to mark out all unswept highs and lows. So you're not going to mark out this low here because this low has been taken out. You see, price has ran through it. Same with this one, same with this one. And another example of the highs here, you're not going to mark out this high because it has been swept by this high. But this one, because we're going to ignore all this, this is the time we're going to be trading, right? Starting at this session. Before this session starts, this high has not been taken out. So you're going to mark that out. This low been taken out, you're not going to mark that. This low has been taken out, you're not going to mark that. This high has not been taken out, so you're going to mark that, because going to the session from where my mouse is now on hasn't happened yet, right? So you're going to mark this out. You're going to mark out anything that's unswept, and that's how you're going to leave it, right? So get rid of that, and I'll actually show you guys this quickly. If you guys want to go back a little bit further, you can put on this indicator so you guys can have like I had all these sessions. If you guys want to see stuff like that, it's only going to show you 3 days on the indicator, but you can go and hit this here and then change the session drawing limit to 10. That'll go back 10 sessions or however many you want. But basically, once you got everything marked out, you can just delete it. And what I'm doing in the morning is I'm looking at this and then I'm marking it out on my Top Step X chart going into the day, right? So I will have my trading view open on my left monitor, and I will be marking everything out on this. You can see here. So I'm just copying it over to this because there's no indicator for Top Step. But coming into this session here, you can see we have this high, and our next step is determine your target for the draw on liquidity. And I forgot to mention that we did have news this day. You can see 5:30 a.m. we had CPI. So before we get on the next step, let me just show you guys that. Our 5:30 candle was CPI right here. So again, Eastern Standard Time, that would be 8:30, hour before market open for you guys. But you see, this is unswept coming into market open. This market doesn't open to right here. So we haven't taken this out. We haven't taken the low out. So you want to mark those out, right? So that's our data high, data low. Very strong draws on liquidity. And the next step is determine your target for the day, which is your draw on liquidity. And that, coming into session open, we had taken out this London low here. And my target for the day, because you see we dipped down, is going to be this data high and this Asia high, which are relative equal highs. So that is my draw on liquidity for the day. That is my target, which leads us into the next step. Okay, we're going to wait for market open, obviously, and then we're going to wait for a sweep of one of those levels that is marked out. And we want to make sure there's no low resistance liquidity resting above or below it, which means, for example, like let's just say we came up and we took out this data high, but we didn't take out this Asia high. That is low resistance liquidity. You're not going to want to take a short off the fact that we just swept this data high when we're this close to this Asia high. That will get you fried. Price is most likely going to come up and take out the Asia high before we get any reversal, as you see here. So low resistance liquidity is just a key level resting above a previous key level that has been taken out that we need to see hit before we can expect a reversal. It's low resistance is just a key level that realistically has nothing. There's nothing that's stopping price from taking it out, right? So you need to be aware of that. Never want to take a reversal position off the fact we just swept one high and left this one here. That is not going to end well for you. So once we get the sweep, if price taps into a higher time frame gap as we get the sweep, that is even better, but it is not necessary. It does not happen all the time, but it is really ideal when it does. So here is a prime example of my strategy playing out. So let's look at the 4 hour. Like I said, we have this 4 hour bullish gap right here, right? You can see price taps into it. So coming into market open, we have all of our marked out levels. So market opens right here. So market opens here. We come up, we respect these gaps here, and we push lower and take out this data low. So now, once the data low has been taken out, we are waiting for a reversal. We tap into this gap and we respect it, right? So keep in mind, our target is up here still. So we're just waiting to get something to target that, right? So we tapped into this, we've got our liquidity sweep of the data low. What's next? We want an IFEG on the 1 minute, and we want to pay attention to the 2, 3, and 5 minute to make sure we are not respecting any gaps on those time frames, meaning all the lower time frames align with the IFEG. So you see here, let's just get rid of this 4 hour gap so you guys can see a little bit better. You guys see here, we get a 1 minute IFEG, right? And I can't show you the 2 minute because I'm broke and I don't have premium, but you see there's no fair value gap going down on the 3 minute. There's no fair value gap going down on the 5 minute. So all these time frames align. The only the only fair value gap we need to inverse is on the 1 minute, which is right here, and we clearly inverse that. So this next step doesn't always happen, as you can see in this trade here, but it is best to you want to. Sorry, did I forget something here? Oh, sorry, I'm just reading it wrong. But this doesn't always happen, but sometimes it won't happen. You still want to enter, so you want to enter with a wider stop loss. But it is ideal if price taps back into the IFEG or the newly created fair value gap and respects it. So ideally, you see we have this 1 minute gap here. It would be ideal if price came up, inverse this gap, taps back into this gap, and then we enter off of that, right? That is ideal. In a perfect world, that is what we want to see to happen. But in this case, it didn't. So this was a very strong displacement through this IFEG. This candle is huge. This is like 100-point candle almost, right? So I was very confident we were going to continue higher. And there's no low resistance liquidity, no lows near here. We had tapped into the 4 hour gap, respected it. We have everything bullish going for us. We have tapped into these 5 minute gaps and respected them. We have inversed every gap on the lower time frame. Everything is pointing towards a strong reversal here. So you want to enter off of this and keep your stop loss below the reversal point. TP at your drawn liquidity for the day. Like I said, if it taps back into this, that's a better entry. But sometimes, guys, what I've learned, you just have to enter and size down a bit if it's not perfect. So I entered here. My stop loss was just below here, below this fair value gap, and my target was up to this Asia high. So this trade made me $1,000 on Friday, and this is my bread and butter. This meets everything for my strategy, guys. So this is perfect. This is what you need to look for if you're trading my strategy. I just explained it the best I could. It is kind of confusing. You're going to have to just practice and get used to it. But you want to make sure your IFEGs all line up. That is very crucial. I don't know if I can find an example for you guys. Maybe here. You do get this 1 minute gap here. And you can see there's also a 3 minute gap here. So you got to be careful on ones like these. You want to make sure you close above this 3 minute gap before you enter. But this was just not a profitable setup in general. But once you inverse this, like you can see here, price comes all the way up to this gap and ends up respecting it and dumping back down, right? So when you have other gaps on the way up, you want to be careful because price can always tap into those and then reverse. Just because you get one IFEG doesn't mean you're going to get a super clean reversal. So you want to make sure everything is inversed before you take a reversal trade. Right here, the best setup was actually waiting till we tap back into this fair value gap here off the IFEG, and then we get another IFEG right here, which would be the best entry. This would have been the better entry on this trade. You wait till we tap back in the gap right here and enter here, and you can target up to here, stops below here, and your 1 to 1.5 RR. So sometimes, guys, if you're taking reversals, you really need to wait till it is 100% justified because you will get burned on fake outs, manipulation, stuff like this. You will get burned. I have been burned. It happens to everyone. You just kind of got to learn. But you want your lower time frames to all align before you enter a reversal trade. So that is my strategy. That's the best I can break it down for you guys. If you guys got any questions, ask them in the comments. But now I'm going to show you guys how to backtest, how to prove the strategy, and how to prove your strategy if you're not trading this. This is just backtesting the way I like to do it. I have a fast way and I have a slow way. The slow way is obviously better, but if you're trying to get a lot of hours in, sometimes you just want to get the feel of a market. The fast way is good as well, so I will show you guys both. But you want to get an FX replay account. It helps. You can see I put a lot of time in on this. I haven't much recently because I'm profitable now. I don't really backtest that often, but it does help every once in a while to refresh your brain, right? So basically you want to get your FX replay and you want to just hit this. You want to start a session, name it whatever, doesn't matter. And you want to start you want to keep this like you're trading a prop firm, right? You can use this prop firm session, but I think it's stupid. And you want to put a $50,000 balance. I trade NASDAQ and I don't ever trade minis. I just trade MNQ, which is micros. So 10 micros equals 1 mini. So you're basically just scaling it down for retail. Makes it easier, right? And you want to select your chart layout. For this case, I'm not going to do that, but it basically, let's just say you're testing 2 weeks at a time. Whatever layout you used on the last session, let's just say this is my last session here. I'll use that. And then what will happen is anything you had on your last session marked out, so any unswept liquidity will still be marked out when you select that. So you don't have to go back and remark everything. You can just select the layout and it will save everything from your previous session. So I'm not going to do that for this case, but if you are continuously backtesting over a period of time, I would use that. I always use it, and I just have a saved layout that I keep using every single time. So then you want to set your date. I'm just going to go back to 2020, May 23rd, because that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I will set this to 00. And then I will start on a Saturday usually, so 23rd, and then I'll go into this and I will do 2 weeks ahead. So you got this week and then this next week ends on the 6th here. So I do 2 weeks at a time. That usually keeps me mentally sane. Need a little bit of a break, but you want to end on the next Saturday. So you're 2 weeks total, right? So that's how you set this up. $50,000 balance, MNQ. If you're trading something with SMTs, you can also add the S&P. I guess it would be called ES. That's ES. You want to add the S&P as well, which I believe micros is MES for that if you're trading SMTs, so you can look at both. It'll allow you to switch. But for me, I don't use SMTs, so I'm just going to be selecting MNQ. So once you got all that, you hit create session, and it will load you into this. One thing before you get started, I don't usually do this when I'm backtesting, but it does help. Go to forexfactory.com. This is going to be your news site, guys. This is the best. Sorry, my camera cut out there. Reached the maximum limit. But what I was saying is go to forexfactory.com, and that is your best news site. This is ideal, guys. You want to be using this every single day. It'll show you all the red folders. My filters are set, so I just have red and white for USD because that's all that really matters. And you can even go back. You can even go back while you're back testing to the times you want, right? So let's just say May 23rd to June 6th. So you can go back here. This is exactly what we're back testing, right? And then you want to apply settings. So this will show you the whole 2 weeks of your back testing, right? So you can see Monday, you have a bank holiday, so price is going to be shit on that Monday. And then you can see all your red folder news for when you're back testing. So you can keep this in mind. I don't typically do this when I'm back testing, but it does help because you know you're going to get a spike in price and you might get killed during that day, like especially when like Trump's speaking or whatever, right? It's good to have in the back of your head. But once this session loads in, again, go down here and make sure your time zone is set properly. So whatever your time zone is, make sure it is set properly, guys. And then, can't really see because my camera's in the way, but you want to hit this little rocket here. And to start, set your stop loss and take profit to 100 points. That gives you lots of room to breathe on both sides. And that should be $250 for what we're going to trade. So you want to put 5 into there. Sorry, I'm going to move my camera a little bit here so I can see the buy and sell button. But going into this here, you can see it's currently Sunday. I don't trade Sundays, so you're going to want to mark out 15 minutes before market open here, which is right here. And you kind of want to zoom up to it, right? This is what I'll do. So I'll pause here. So I'm going to show you guys the quick version first. I do not recommend doing this. I recommend doing the version I'm going to show you guys after. But you're going to want to mark out your days for the quick version. And I always mark out to the end of New York session, which is about roughly, you can do 1300, 1 o'clock. It's actually 12:45 for me, but I do it to 1 o'clock. So I'll mark out my session like this. And you guys are going to want to write out a cheat sheet. You can see I have here all the session highs and lows. It's going to be backwards on your screen. But I just have the times written down so I know my times because the indicators are not good on FX Replay. The session highs and low ones suck. And even if you change them, they're like glitchy. They don't stay. So it's a lot easier just to write it out on a piece of paper. And then when you're going into a session, you'll mark them out. But for the quick version, what I used to do, which is I did a lot, is I'll just kind of mark out swing highs and lows on the 15-minute chart. So these are all like kind of your swing highs and lows. Again, this is the quick version, guys. I would not suggest doing this. But if you're in a rush or whatever, this works. It's not great, but you want to just kind of mark out your swing highs, swing lows, stuff that's unswept for price, right? For this quick version I'm going to be showing you guys. So I'm just going to only do one day of this kind of, and we should probably honestly skip this day because it's a bank holiday, but whatever. I'm just showing you as an example. I'm not trying to be profitable on this right now. And yeah, this is kind of the quick version. So we come into market open here, and this is gonna, again, like I said, be a super slow day because it's a bank holiday. So you can see we're just chopping around. Like, this is, you don't want to be trading bank holidays, guys. Like, this is garbage price action. That's why it helps to have your news open. But yeah, we're just gonna basically chop around. Sometimes this glitches and that happens, but yeah, session's over there. So what you're gonna want to do is mark out your next session over and over again, right? So now we should have some decent volume. Before a session starts, you see you have no news this day. So we got these highs here and got some lows here. Again, guys, this is just the quick version. The next version I'm going to show you is what I would suggest you do, but this is just a quick way to get kind of the feel of the markets. So let's just see what happens here. So we get a sweep of this low here. You can see, again, IFEG, we tap back into this, right? And we tap back into this bullish gap, but you can see we're still respecting this 3-minute. So I would probably wait till we close above this on this trade, and you can see that first IFEG didn't work out. So that's why you always want to make sure your time frames are aligned for IFEGs. So no setup there. You could take a short off of this, but let's just wait to see what happens here. So we sweep out that and we continue pushing lower. This would have been a great continuation trade. Now we've inversed all this, inverse this 3-minute. There is a low resistance low, but since I'm not marking lows out properly, I'm not too worried about it. That is the problem with this quick version here, guys. And let's see what happens here. So we tap back in, respect it, and that is looking like a good buy to me. Stops are here, $250, and I'm gonna move this up to target these stacked highs here. So let's see how this plays out. And we chopped around and took me out. But yeah, I guess this was an important low. That's why you don't trade with low resistance liquidity. That is why I do not prefer this method, guys. But it is fast and it does help. And yeah, we're just going to chop around the rest of the day. So that's shitty, starting off with a loss. But only $250, so it doesn't really matter. Now, I'm going to show you guys the proper way to do this. That is just doing it quick, being lazy kind of. Sometimes you'll get in that mode when you're back testing that you just want to get a feel for the market. You know, it's no big deal. I did that a lot. This next method takes quite a long time and takes a lot of focus too, right? So let's get up. Let's get up to this here, and then we'll go from here. So now we're going to pause right there. And I'm just going to delete everything. But now we're sitting at 6 o'clock. So what you're going to want to do is mark out the previous sessions. So let's just do one day before. So we start here. So again, 3 hours ahead if you're Eastern Standard Time. So you'll be starting at, your first session will be 9:30, mine's 6:30. So 6:30 here. This first session, this is going to be your high. This is your New York AM high. And you just keep following along till the session ends, which is 7:45 for me. As you can see, this would be the session low, but it was swept already, so you're not going to mark it out. Next session, New York lunch, 9 to 9:45. If you're Eastern, it's 12 to 12:45. So I'm going to go up to 9. Here's 9 right here. And 9:45 is here. So you can see highs and lows both been swept out. We're not going to mark out anything. Next session, 10:30, which is right here. Again, the high has been taken out. 10:30 to 12:45. And 12:45 is this right here, this candle. That low has not been taken out. So we're going to mark out that as our New York PM low right there. Next session, your Asia session, which is for me 17 to 2015. And you can see no highs, no lows. 2015 is here. Everything has been taken out for London or Asia session, so we're not going to mark anything out there. London session, 23 to 145. So it starts here and it goes to right here. Again, everything has been taken out for that. So coming to this session, the only highs and lows for the previous day you have left are this New York AM and this New York PM. Obviously, there's going to be more from previous sessions, but once you continue backtesting, you just leave any unswept session highs and lows there, and you can just continue like that. So now we're going to go on the 4 hour, going to mark out any unfilled gaps. There's one there, and there's one up here. So now you got pretty much everything marked out. You're going to look at your news. No news today. Don't need to worry about that. You're going to come into this. You can mark out the end of the day. So Wednesday, there. And you can wait till market opens. So we're still pretty far from market open. We're about 15 minutes from market open. So we zoom up to that. Market opens here. You can see now we swept this low. And we've respected this gap. No reversal there. We're going to come down and we're going to tap into this 4 hour gap here. And you can see on the 4 hour, we have now disrespected this gap. So what is next? That low. And we're already about 40 minutes in a market open here. I'm super bearish at this point, and we'll see what happens when we take out this low. And we do start to get a bit of a reversal here. So you can see we're tapping into this 5-minute gap. And this is getting pretty late in the session, guys. So like realistically, I would not be taking a trade right now. But we do inverse this 5-minute gap. So now we know the reversal is going to make sense. So I'm going to take a buy here. I'm going to move my stops down a bit. And we're going to target this unfilled 15-minute gap here. So let's see how this plays out. This is a little bit later than I would usually take a trade. So this might not work out too well. But speed this up a little bit. And at this point, pretty well in profit, so I would usually move this up to break even. Just get rid of this. And we'll see how this plays out. Yeah, this is pretty late in the session, guys, so it's not going to be super clean price action. But did hit TP there. So once it hits TP, just take one trade for the day, move on to the next one. Don't be fucking around taking 8 trades on one day. So you just want to basically get set up for the next day, right? So the next day is Thursday. I'm just going to show you guys 2 days. I'm going to end the video. But that is basically what you want to do over and over and over again until your eyes are bleeding, guys. You guys want to really get a feel for the markets before you go live. And this is the best way to do it. As you can see, the fast way, I was struggling at a reversal point because I'm doing it quick. I'm not marking out stuff properly. When you guys take the extra time, mark out your sessions properly, mark out your gaps properly, it's a lot easier to be successful at backtesting. So same thing, we're coming up to market open here. And this high unswept, this gap unfilled. So we're going to leave those there. And you guys are going to continue to leave them till they're taken out. And now we're going to go do the exact same thing from Wednesday. FX Replay has these blue gaps that are not market open to market open. So all your sessions will be between the two blue gaps. So let's start here, 6:30. Right here, the high has been taken. The low has been taken for New York AM. New York lunch. Or sorry, this actually ends up being the low for New York AM right there, which is also going to be your previous day low. Makes it even a stronger draw. So your next session, 9 to 9:45. This is going to be your low for that session. The high has clearly been taken out. Next session, 10:30. Right here, that low has not been taken out. The high has been taken out. Asia session, 1700. So 1700 right here to 2015. You can see that would be the high of Asia session. The low has been taken out. London session, 23, which is this candle here. And the high has not been taken out. And the low would be 145. So the low has been taken out for London session. So you got London, Asia, New York lows all stacked up. Those are going to be your session highs and lows that are unswept for the day. And what you're going to want to look at next, just get rid of this quickly, fair value gaps. So you obviously have this one still. And you can see we've disrespected this 4-hour gap. So you can assume we're going to be bullish for the day. You can see we're still respecting this 4-hour gap on the bullish 4-hour gap, but we have disrespected this one. So I personally would lean on this gap because it's today, that was yesterday, and we still have gaps here we're respecting. I would be super bullish on this day, and this would kind of be my draw. But let's check the news. So you can see the 28th we had news at 5:30 a.m. So let's make sure we got that marked out. So 5:30 was this candle right here. So this candle was your data candle. The highs and lows have both been swept, so we don't need to mark anything out there. So we are respecting the 1 hour, respecting the 4 hour on the bullish side. We have inverse them on the bearish side. So we are very bullish on the day, but we are still going to need to wait for some sort of liquidity sweep before we enter any trade. If you're using my model, we are at market open right now. So let's see what happens. We absolutely explode up, and this could be a good time for continuation trade, but I'm not going to do that in this video. But if you were going to take a continuation trade, you could definitely take one off this candle here up to this high. But just to keep it simple for you guys, I'm not going to get into that today. And now you can see we have taken out this high. And let's see if we start to get a reversal here. Now we're going to come up and take out this high. Okay. So now we don't have anything low resistance. The next closest thing to fill is this gap. That's the next draw on liquidity. So let's just wait here, see if we get a reversal. We have right now, we have this 1 minute gap that we have just inversed. So let's see. On a 3 minute, we have nothing. On the 5 minute though, you can see this is why it's important that all your time frames align with IFEGs. The 5 minute, we are still respecting that. So we are still bullish. So you don't want to take it just off the 1 minute. Let's see. If we can come down and close below the 5 minute, then I would take a short. So now we have done that. So now take a short position. Stops there. TP there, just leave it how it is. Let's see how this plays out. Might get burned on this because we were very bullish. Really choppy. Really choppy. And I'm stopped out right there. That is just an example of manipulation. That would not have been a bad trade in my books. You can see that's just barcode. But that's basically what you're going to want to do, guys. Like, I'm not going to go too much into this. Obviously, it's hard to be profitable on this, really recording a video, doing it spur of the moment. But as you can see, I took one big win. I'm still in profit, and I took 2 losses. So you want to keep your losses low. $250 a trade is perfect. And then you keep your winners high, right? So this one is going to play out to fill this gap, which was my drawn liquidity. So, yeah. And then it comes down and hits my TP. But this video is about to end on the camera, so let me just switch that quickly. Okay, so yeah, you guys want to keep in mind your drawn liquidity for the day, and you don't want to do what I just did. I mean, it's not bad. You can kind of scalp like that, but you kind of always want to be going with the trend, with the higher time frames. That'll help you be more successful over time. Back testing is kind of hard for me now because I'm used to live markets. This isn't it's not really what I do anymore, so you guys will probably be better than me at this, and I'm trying to do it fast for the video's sake. So just slow down, take your time, don't rush trades. It's no problem if you don't take a trade on a day. Usually in a 2-week session, I only take about 8 trades, 7 or 8 trades. There'll be a few days where I don't take any trades. So keep that in mind, keep things slow, get yourself a cheat sheet based on your time zone, and the easiest way to find your session highs and lows, or your session starts and ends, is just go to ICT kill zones and pivots, go like this, and hover over the start of it. So easiest on the 15-minute. So you can see your London starts at 23, 145 for it ending. If you're in like something Eastern, where's New York? Here. So New York or London will start at 2 for you, and then it will end at 4:45. Asia will start at 20 and end at 23:45. So you guys want to get a little sheet like this and write it all down so you guys can go on FX and you guys can mark it out properly, and you just start at the black spot between the blue lines and just find all the unswept highs and lows, and then just keep leaving them. If these guys haven't been swept out, don't delete it, just leave it till you keep going on, right? And yeah, that's gonna be pretty much all for today. This is a longer video. This can take me quite a while to upload, but if you guys do have any questions, you guys can DM me on Instagram, leave a comment here. My Instagram's always in the bio. I will answer you guys, give you guys a little bit of help, but this is not going to be easy the first time you do it, guys. It takes time to get used to it and adjust to it, and then you will start kicking ass with this. When I was doing this for a long time, I was making 3, 4, 5 grand a session. Trading this same amount, I was winning basically every trade. Super high win rate. You just get in the flow state of things. Put on some good music. Put on something that keeps you going, right? And just keep grinding at it. You guys got to take this slow. If you try to do it fast like me, like that first session I showed you, the fast version, that's where a lot of people slip up. They'll only do it like that. You need to do this properly. You need to get used to trading how you're going to be trading live, because either way you're going to suck when you go live, because it is completely different. It's not pressing a button to start and stop it. It's fast. There's wicks. There's no wicks in this, and it's just different. So either way you're going to get cooked when you go live. It's just part of the game, but you want to be as prepared as possible, and you want to have some market experience, and this is the best way to do it. And you need to have a set strategy that you backtest and stick to over and over and over again. Do not strategy hop. If you don't like my strategy, that's completely fine. It works for me. It might not work for you. Make your own strategy. Find your own strategy on YouTube. Write it down. Write it on paper. Write it out like this and stick to it. every single trade. Don't change up. You can also journal on this. I was doing that a lot too. I was writing down, I was stopping after every trade and journaling why I did that. So you guys need to take this seriously. I know it just feels like a video game, but you need to take it seriously, and it will really improve your trading overall. Like, as you can see, I have almost 4 days back testing, and that started in April. Like, this month I put 22 hours in, 14 hours. Like, that's only counting the in session time, right? And each session's probably only 20-30 minutes. So I was doing session after session after session after session. You can see I've replayed almost 10 years of data, taken almost 3,000 trades. Like, you guys gotta grind on this shit, man. This is not easy. Trading is not easy. You need to have proven evidence that you know what you're doing is gonna work, because that will really help with your mental when you get into live and you're losing. You keep losing. You need to know in the back of your head your strategy works, and there's something else you need to change up, whether it's over leveraging, over trading, revenge trading, something. There'll be something along the lines that you can fall back on the fact that your strategy works, and it's something else that you need to change up, right? So with all that being said, guys, I'm going to end the video here. This is going to be quite a long one. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something. Like I said, if you have any questions, DM me on Instagram, or I can leave my Telegram name in the description of this video. You can hit me up on Telegram. I'm always on there. Or you can just leave a comment on this YouTube video or Rumble video, and I will be sure to get back to you. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next video for a trade recap. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a good night.